I love answering your questions, and in this video, I've decided to answer several questions from one specific viewer. Today's video will be a conversation with viewer Jenny Chapman. Don't turn away, because that starts right now. Hey! Howdy! Thanks for learning about MS with me, Aaron Boster. I'm the founder of the Boster Center for Multiple Sclerosis, where we care for families impacted by MS from around the globe. I love answering your questions, and today I've decided to do something a little different. Viewer Jenny Chapman has written in a multitude of fantastic questions and comments, and I wanted to spend a few minutes and have a conversation going through some of the questions that I haven't gotten to in the past and providing answers. So let's jump in. I had my first optic neuritis 12 years back in Israel, but the MRI was completely normal. So instead of going for a follow-up, I relocated to the United States. Then, 3 years ago, I had another episode, much more mild, but they found several tiny lesions. Question: when did my MS start? Was it when I was diagnosed 3 years ago, or back in Israel 12 years ago? When we talk about the onset of multiple sclerosis, we talk about symptom onset, which for you was 12 years ago. Now, at the time of symptom onset, you had an optic neuritis, a very classic initial presentation of what could go on to be MS, and you had a brain MRI without lesions. Now, we actually have really good data on the likelihood of someone with an optic neuritis and no brain lesions going on to develop MS. And the answer is there's a 20% chance over the next 20 years. Now, because of that, typically, when we see something like an optic neuritis in a normal brain scan, we will follow the human being with serial MRIs. Now here you relocated countries and life occurred and you didn't have any new symptoms, not for many, many years. Still, all that said, I would link your onset to the symptoms 12 years back. In response to a video I made dealing with cog fog and difficulties with thinking and memory, Jenny wrote the following: I wanted to share another contributor, stress. Not as in anxiety. When I'm around my husband, adorable but so loud 3-year-old, I feel so stressed. I can't speak. I either can't say what I want, or my grammar doesn't sound like it makes sense, or my accent is really coming out, and I just can't say words. It's really frustrating, like writing a sentence with lots of blanks in the middle. Jenny, nobody goes home at night and says,
honey, let's get stressed out.
Right? And I don't think that stress can create a new neurological symptom, but I sure believe that stress can exacerbate a baseline symptom. And I think that many people listening to our conversation right now would agree that this is not uncommon. It doesn't make it any less stressful or less frustrating. So let's just game out a couple thoughts. One thing that we might be able to do is have an engaging conversation with the spouse and say, hey, listen, just so that you're aware, when there's a lot of external stimulation, TV, kid, conversation, stress, anxiety, I have trouble tracking. So if we're going to have a serious conversation about something, we best take it into the other room, turn the TV off, not have the child screaming right there, because that way I can concentrate and handle things better. Let me throw out a second idea. If you could embrace the concept of meditation, literally, spending 5 minutes away from the world, sitting in your bathroom floor, cross-legged, eyes closed, concentrating on breathing, just for 5 minutes, you may find that your stress level drops. And then when you stand back up and go back out and to engage with your family and your life, you're engaging, starting out a little bit less stressed. Jenny asked a few days back, what about Casemta? It's still an injectable, but it's a new generation. In fact, could you make a video about this medication? I'll be switching to it from Aubagio soon. Bam! So I actually did make a video about Casemta when the data was first published. And so you can see that link up above. Click it and check it out. I'd love to know your thoughts, and I'd love to know about how your transition goes. Question: once remyelinating will be in, do you believe it will be possible to reverse at least some of the accumulated brain damage and restore previous levels of functioning? It's exciting conceptually to think that we could put the myelin back on the axon. And there are multiple different trials exploring this exact question. Now, fortunately, when the trials read out, we will know the answer to that question. We'll know if you regain function. The way I think about things in clinic is, as an MS neurologist, I have certain tools that are currently available to me. And I want to use those tools, whether they be diet, exercise, MS disease modifying therapy, vitamin D, etc. I want to use these tools to help let your brain age naturally and allow you to be as healthy and allow your nervous system to be as healthy as possible, so that when these therapies become available, you are able to receive them and benefit from them. Just my 2 cents. Video request. Could you please compare Limtrada and Mavenclad and provide your own opinion insights on these medications? This is an awesome question, and I've been thinking about whether or not a video comparing and contrasting Limtrada and Mavenclad would be something viewers would like. So, Jenny, let me ask the question to the broader audience, to this village. Would you guys enjoy watching a video on this topic? Please leave your answer in the comments section below. And if there's enough yeses, I'll make the video. Question: is there any research going on regarding a direct blasting of the lesions or medication that could dissolve them? So, Jenny, when I talk about MS lesions or MRI brain lesions or spinal cord lesions, the word lesion deserves some discussion. A lesion is a doctor word for a spot on the MRI. Like literally, like you could just call it a spot. And based on the color, size, and location of the lesion, we can learn things about it. Based on the way it picks up contrast, we can learn things about it. But the actual lesion is not a tumor or a growth or an infection. You can't cut it out. It's actually an area of your brain that's inflamed, where there's excessive water signal, and that water creates kind of a puddle or a bright spot. So you wouldn't want to blast the lesion necessarily. Now, we can do things to quell the inflammation. Our disease-modifying therapies do that. They quell inflammation, but we're not really blasting the lesion as if we were to blow up something that we needed to remove. Would you consider doing an unofficial video consultation where viewers could ask you direct questions and discuss their concerns, please? The answer is no. I don't think it's appropriate to deliver medical advice airy-fairy. Just you tell me a question, I give you an answer specific for you. But what I can do is I can actually do an official video consultation. As I make this video in May 2021, the emergency laws that allow telemedicine are still in effect. And so in the present moment, I am able to do video consultations. And we do a lot of consultative visits at the Boster Center on Zoom. So that is a possibility, but it's not unofficial. Patients mail us all of their records, all of their MRIs, all their labs, and I look at all that stuff before we get on camera. Jenny, I have to say that I've had a super fun time chatting with you today, and I'd be very curious whether the viewers on this channel enjoyed this conversation and whether you'd like to see other videos kind of like this one. So let me know in the comments section. Until my next video or the next time I see you at the Boster Center for MS, this is Aaron Boster saying be safe and take care.